Don't look under the internet.
Oh, did you hit record?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, flip, dude.
Oh, we can't start yet, though.
Oh, you're right.
We can now, though.
Oh, you're right.
Oh!
Welcome.
Wait.
Welcome.
Oh, no. Okay. We're all doing the intro. It's always been Mike or us fucking Mike up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're each going to take one word. Are you ready? Doug,
right.
you start.
All right. Welcome.
To
Don't.
Look.
under
The
Internet.
I'm
Mike.
That's
Jason.
And
that's
Doug.
great.
oh my god.
This is going so poorly. Let's fucking bail.
Abort.
This is a
Absolutely abort.
podcast about all things spooky
No.
on the internet.
I'm gonna fucking murder you.
It's a comedy.
No!
Drama.
I'm gonna fucking no. Oh, you guys are gonna kill me so early. We are an internet horror comedy, which I'm sure you've never heard of before. We've tried.
Come
to
on,
introduce-
Come on, her.
and that's all you need to know.
Yeah, this is part 2 of the Minerva Alliance.
Yes.
Minerva. I hardly knew her.
How long have you been thinking of that one?
It just hit me right now.
So
We are recording this on the same
yeah,
night.
if we
did
sound
part
a little,
one.
if we
So
sound
we
a
are
little doofy,
saucy.
if we sound doofy, it's because these chuckle fucks bought like the giant handle of Maker's Mark and has drilled through half of it.
And there's also a bottle of vodka in front of me.
Shut
The
your
list
fucking
goes.
mouth, bro.
I took a COVID test earlier today. I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Why? Why?
Because like 3 people at my store have COVID, so they're
Weird.
out.
I just gave a COVID patient mouth to mouth.
Nice, man.
I put a thermometer in my butt earlier.
No reason, just
Definitely no reason.
Tin backwards is knit. So
We're gonna
God
say
damn it.
every joke we,
left
said
off.
in the last episode. Welcome to.
Lorenzo's oil.
Oh god,
God
damn it!
damn it. Okay, so we've done
left
this round
back,
robin. Let's try again.
we left
I'm going to
back-
do it this time.
Last time we left off.
Welcome, everybody, to Don't Look Under the Internet.
Yes.
Last time we left off, Doug just got done giving
I got
us...
given
He got
you
given done gov us.
info.
Doug.
Got given gun give you.
But yeah, so I would like to first and
I
foremost
can't do this.
I would like to first and foremost say that obviously because we're recording this on the same night as
No
the
new
last one,
Patreons.
no new patrons. Thank you. So you're not going to hear if you are a patron that subscribed, during this week or something. You're not going to hear your name, unfortunately.
Get
because
wrecked, stupid.
Gargle Mike's whole tank. You
recording
fucking
this-
casual.
Recording this on the same night as the other one. Oh my God! Why am I the one that has to fucking bring the reins back?
because this always happens.
So
Doug and I
we
get-
left off
we
last.
haven't done a two-parter in so long that me and Jason have become sauced enough.
Yeah, it's a
that
really bad idea.
Starting an episode this late into the night is just pleasure for y'all, I guess.
The worst
Think
part.
of this as Hellraiser. Doug and I are the Cenobites. Y'all are victims.
The worst part is right before we hit the record button, they're like, "You want to do this? Yes, let's go ahead and do this." Hit the record button. Fully
like we
enunciating.
flipped a switch.
Everything was
Hey, Doug, you
fine.
want to do another shot?
No, wait.
You're not Doug.
You're waiting. You
No,
have
we
to
definitely-
drive.
We should wait. We should
Anyway.
We
wait.
should, yeah.
Last we left off.
What I asked.
Doug covered the first 7 videos. I want to
Yes.
say.
I did.
And
I
we-
covered the first 7
And we
videos.
ended on a video where essentially some guy ran into a Blockbuster, throwing the video at them, saying, "Destroy it."
Don't watch this.
Yeah.
Because it was like a 30s cartoon, like what are they called? The psychic people, the tarot cards.
Fortune teller.
Fortune teller. Thank you, fortune teller, predicting future incidents that could happen.
All I had in my brain were slurs that I shouldn't say.
Great, don't say that.
Wow. Okay.
I would say the next 6 episodes, I'm gonna not cover one by one, but instead tell them all together because they're one congruent story.
Yeah, that makes 1000% sense
Yes.
because of how it's laid out.
Yes.
If you look at the actual Minerva Alliance channel, you will see that the next slew of videos is fucking the same video parts 1 through.
They are
etc.
all recovered audio that titled "Recovered Audio: Tommy Parsons Personal Audio Logs." And I'm not fucking talking about Tommy Parsons, the fucking pitcher for the Cardinals
you look that
baseball
up?
team. No.
Did you just?
Yeah, he did.
So to give a brief description, if you go into the description of each of these videos, you're going to find this portion is in each single one of them. You are going to find additional information. There's some info that changes. I'm going to read it off as it changes, but this part stays the same. It is additional information. Tommy Parsons was a 1989 high school graduate from... Hit the redacted button, Jason. From high school in Virginia, who inexplicably went missing during a solo backpacking trip through the Appalachian Mountains in late May of the same year. We don't need that button anymore. Yeah, just keep your hand off that button.
No, hit it.
Despite authorities conducting a thorough month-long search of the area where Pinewood Trail is located and interviewing Tommy's various relatives and friends to determine if foul play or some other circumstance contributed to his disappearance, no evidence of Tommy's whereabouts could be recovered. Given the supplies and equipment Tommy was believed to have had on the outset of his trip, he was assumed to have died of malnutrition roughly 6 months following his disappearance. The case would fade into obscurity for just under 3 decades until mid-March 2020, where a young couple on a day hike along Pinewood Trail discovered a relatively pristine audio cassette tape off the side of the trail while the boyfriend was in the restroom. Unsure what to do with it,
He was pooping.
He was pooping. Unsure what to do with it, they delivered the tape to an undercover Minerva agent posing as a park ranger, who listened to the tape's contents and quickly discovered that these were the audio logs that Tommy had recorded while on his trip. The ranger notified other Minerva agents in an attempt to recover any more audio tapes using a routine trail inspection as a cover for the operation. So basically, these tapes were all discovered by people just along trails.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Have you ever played the game Firewatch?
Nope.
This is giving me heavy Firewatch vibes.
It
And
might keep it
also-
going depending on how this goes.
It might keep going, but I'd like to talk about this now. So, kidding. Go ahead.
Okay. So tape 1, I'm gonna separate the tapes real fast to give like recovery dates because that changes a little bit. So tape 1 was found on March 12th, 2020, near a public restroom on Pinewood Trail, Virginia.
Yo, that's super close to somebody's birthday.
Mm.
Weird.
Getting closer to stealing somebody's identity.
The date of origin, yes.
What's
When's your
what's
birthday,
your
Mike?
first pet's name? The
last
first
4 of your
street that you grew
social.
up on, and your first model of car.
Pie.
Good.
For all of them.
Yes. So for tape 1, the date of origin is late May of 1989. That is when they assessed that this tape was recorded. It was found, again, March 12th, 2020. Tape 2 was, again, the date of origin is late May of 1989. The recovery date was, again, March 12th of 2020. This one was located near some rocks close to a cliff alongside the Pinewood Trail in Virginia. Tape 3, the origin again is late May of 1989. The recovery date was March 14th of 2020. The recovery location was on the other side of a creek 50 meters away from the Pinewood Trail in Virginia. Yeah. Tape 4 was again late May 1989 is when they feel the origin of this tape is. It was recovered March 16th of 2020, and it was recovered in a thicket 80 meters away from the Abingdon campsite and shelter on the Pinewood Trail in Virginia. Tape 5, the origins again, late May 1989. Recovery date was March 20th, 2020. The location was close to the peak of Mount Stanley, located roughly 7 miles northeast from Overlook Peak, which is in the Pinewood Trail, again in Virginia.
Okay.
The last one, tape 6, the origin, one more time, late May 1989. The recovery date was March 22nd, 2020. And the location they found the cassette was near the banks of Lake Aradesh, approximately 10 miles east of the Pinewood Trail in Virginia.
So you're saying most of these dates where things were recovered.
The recovery date was when they were discovered, like when these tapes were found in the woods.
Would you say most of these were found around the same time?
Considering the location date, yes.
What I'm getting at. I know you guys are looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot. What I'm getting at is most of these videos were found around the same date, right?
Yeah, they were found relatively around 4 days from each other.
However, what we've been talking about is the fact that these videos have been dated very far apart, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a huge subset of like chunk of videos that has all been recovered at the same time.
Yes.
So
these are all audio clips that were from 1989, and these cassette tapes they found look almost pristine, like they aren't aged or decayed or anything.
So the only reason I bring that up is because if these were all uploaded around the same time, yet the dates for their recordings were very far apart, would that not suggest that either one or, a couple of people found all of these at the same time?
Well, they did send Minerva Alliance agents out to look for more tapes.
Correct.
So I wouldn't be surprised if you're right on that one.
Like a big search party almost.
I'm trying to build an SCP-style backstory for the quote-unquote foundation.
Gotcha.
Which is what's happening right now.
Pretty much. So in these 6 tapes...
Cool, we're here.
Yeah, in these 6 tapes, you get...
Mike's like, I don't give a fuck.
Fuck off. I'm just going to talk about shit.
In these 6 tapes, you get basically like 20, I want to say it's 27 some odd recordings of events that Tommy Parsons decided to record. This trip that Tommy took place between the Pinewood Trail to Deerhorn City. Basically, he would hike for 4 days through this Pinewood Trail. He would end it into Deerhorn City, where his parents are going to be waiting for him to pick him up after a 4-day hike. He wanted to go on this hike to like clear his head and get like a little bit of him time before he went off to college. So this is kind of like a cathartic thing for him. So he decides that he's going to go on this hike, and throughout the most part of this hike, it's just normal. He mentions how he's like, oh yeah, I made it up this hillside and there's a bunch of day hikers around. It's very fun. It's too many people for my tastes. But he's like, where I'm going to be going, there's going to be less and less people because I'm going on a multi-day hike. So he's like, so far, so good. I'm seeing a lot of sights. It's great. After, a couple more days, he's like, I'm a little bit deeper in to the trail. I'm seeing a few less people, but, everything's fine. Yeah, I prefer it this way. I prefer less people around this hiking area because I came out here to be by myself in nature. So,
like that one time that Michael Scott went outside to go be in nature.
It is literally like that.
That's what I kind of thought of when I saw part of this.
It is quite literally like that. So it's all going pretty normal up until one night where one day when he's walking around and he's like, I haven't seen a single person out here. And this, I believe, is like day, I want to say two in his hike. And he's like, after this time, I haven't seen a single other person out here. Typically, he's like, this is like perfect like backpacking season where I'll see like 1 or 2 like hikers out here doing the same thing I'm doing, but I've seen nobody.
That'd be fucking freaky, right?
It gets freakier because he also mentions he's like, typically the nature is like alive and vibrant. I have heard nothing. He's like, there's no wind. There's no
fucking Gregory 88 all over again.
Kind of,
when, he goes outside and notices that there's no wildlife and then just sees the fucking eyeless fish lady throat noising at his house.
But he mentions how you don't hear the birds. You don't hear animals. You don't hear the gusts of wind. You don't hear nothing. And then the night comes. And then he
The night man cometh?
the night man cometh
No, the night comes.
all over him. Yes, all over him.
The
that
night made. It made.
Stop! I hate it.
No, keep going. I don't know this reference, so
You do, and you know how much I
You-
hate that
you-
fucking reference.
You gotta go make.
Stop.
I gotta make bears.
I'm done. I'm
So-
done.
He makes a recording on his recorder, and he's like, "Hey, like it's like super. It's nighttime. I can't sleep. There's something in the woods, like making these noises, and I don't know what it is." And then you hear this like guttural like growl, and he's like, "I'm gonna probably cut this recording short because I don't know how like good this thing can hear me." He's like,
Right.
"I don't know if this thing has like acute like,
We don't know if
hearing."
he's a shy guy or not.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm gonna cut this short because I don't want to fucking die here.
We can make those references, right? Since everyone has heard these.
Sure.
Correct.
Sure.
Cool.
What?
So he's going on more after that. He's like, "Oh yeah, I slept like shit." So that sucks because why? I mean, yeah, something's growling in the night. So he's like, "Yeah, I stayed up most of the night. Like I couldn't fall asleep, understandably." So he's walking through the day, and he's like, I don't know if it's because I'm like deprived from sleep or something, but like I keep thinking I'm seeing things like in my peripheral, like in the trees, and that he's like, I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna make like a dinner, like an early dinner, and call it an early day, see if I can get some good sleep. So he calls it an early day along this path, and he goes to bed. He wakes up the next day, and he's like, "Oh, it's a bit chillier, which is nice. Like it's not like super hot like it's been because it's summertime."
Yeah.
And he's like, what? That sense of like paranoia is like gone. This is great. Like I'm feeling a lot better now.
good.
And as he starts like progressing through, he goes through like he finds like these campsites that are like on his trail that he's like those are supposed to be like his like rest stops, basically these campsites. And he talks about how he enters a campsite and it looks like it's been like abandoned essentially. Like it looks like it's run down. No one's taking
You
taking
gotta
care
play
of the place.
Firewatch. You have to play Firewatch. I feel like you would enjoy it. You would also scream like a tiny little girl.
I do that all the time. So
Even when
nothing
nothing's
new.
Scary. Like
Nothing new.
okay, one of these days I will come over. We will play it together.
Okay. I like how that sounds. Once
Cool.
we get the new computer. So he mentions this, and then he mentions how like, oh yeah, I keep hearing it's still quiet out here, but I keep hearing those like growls in the distance and everything. I don't know what kind of animal that is, but I know some animals can make like weird sounds during mating season. He's trying to like cope and be like, oh, give it some sort of like logical explanation. And this entire time you can kind of hear like the fear in his voice. Like he's not even comfortable.
Quiver
Yeah, like he's not even really accepting his own
Yeah.
logic, but he has to keep going.
to keep his sanity about him.
Yeah.
His gaping chasm.
Yeah. And throughout this time, there is, I believe it's in the 4th video, when it just basically starts off with him just going, oh, fuck. Like, oh, no. And then he mentions how the entire city of Deerhorn is gone.
Just gone.
It's gone. Where Deerhorn City was, it's just forest.
like it never existed.
Yeah.
Like no one ever came.
And
to
he's like
settle it.
this, and he's like, this
That's
doesn't.
usually what happens when someone is lost, right?
Well, that's what he was saying. He's like, this doesn't make sense. I followed this map to a fucking T. I hit all the stops I was supposed to. Where's the fucking city? Where are my parents? Because his parents were supposed to meet him at Deerhorn City after
Mom?
this excursion.
Mom,
Yeah.
Dad.
He pretty much does that. And he has like a full like mental fucking breakdown to the point where he's like, am I stuck in some like Lovecraftian world? He even calls it a
He's in
Lovecraftian
Rulia.
world. Maybe.
Yeah, the entrances and exits don't make sense in
Yeah.
that city.
So at
So
this point,
maybe.
he starts freaking out and he's like, you know what? Maybe I did get turned around. Who the fuck knows where I am? So he decides that he's going to hike up a neighboring mountain. And he's going to hike up Mount Stanley, which again is the neighboring peak from where he's at. It's at this point when he mentions like, hey, if you hear my teeth chattering, I'm sorry. It just started fucking snowing. And keep in mind, this is like May. So he's very confused on why there's snow in like the fucking late May months.
May.
Yeah.
So listen. So get this right. May. make.
Come on, man. That was a stretch and you fucking know it.
I don't know what's happening, but okay.
God.
So he mentions how it's starting to snow.
Yeah.
What was that?
Keep talking. That's the universal sign for Mike keep talking while Doug and I can be irresponsible and shitty.
I guess my basement couches are available for sleeping on if you guys need to crash here. All things considered.
I'll crash in all the way up.
Crash in her.
I hardly know her.
So he mentions how it's snowing and the temperature's dropping, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking die if I don't get start scavenging for supplies because I'm just about out of food. He only packed enough food for a 4-day venture. He's at 4 days now.
I will say just real quick because this just popped in my head. But when you were watching this, I don't know if it was just like where I was watching it, but like they needed to up the fucking audio on this video like so much.
I think they did that on purpose because these audio clips are supposed to be from 1989. They're supposed to be very
but like
shitty.
It's just like that. Like I really liked this part, but like for the love of fucking God, give me some audio because I couldn't fucking hear shit without the volume being on full blast.
I get that.
Hey, Discord. Thank you, please, and drink. Cheers, everybody.
Anyway, while you guys drink your drinks, so it's at this point where he's like, I need to start like finding materials and shit, otherwise I'm gonna fucking die in this cold. So he, at this point, after like just going through like the mountainous area, he stumbles across a clearing that is just filled with like backpacks and knapsacks, like just on the fucking floor. And he's like, hey, I wasn't going to make a recording until I got on the top of the mountain, but, this is fucking weird.
It's so actually, this just popped in my head, but the fucking weather alert anomaly.
Oh my God.
Maybe it has something to do with this.
This is very similar to that weather alert. Like, it's not the same thing.
It might be. There's not a lot of information on the weather alert. This could have been that weather alert.
Holy fuck.
Huh.
Hard to say.
Also, guys, don't be afraid to blast out some theories because there's none.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Zero.
Like,
So
if you guys have theories, let us know.
Yeah. So as,
I was
as
talking
he's
to
like,
you guys, but also Discord. Yeah.
No.
well, here's some fun theories for you.
Mike, go ahead,
So
please.
take note that this takes place in 1989, right? So as he's rummaging through these bags, he finds one that he's like, this looks like it's from like the 18th century. And he finds a fucking flintlock pistol in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's no bullets. Unfortunately, he's like, I don't know how to use this, so there's no point in carrying it around as a weapon because I don't know how this shit works.
Do
I shove it up my ass?
I put my penis in it?
You might.
Which penis opens?
He then also.
Oh, okay.
he then also mentions that he found a backpack with a device on it with the Macintosh symbol, and he is flabbergasted because he was not aware that Macintosh made a handheld device as small as he just found.
Yeah, the Palm Pilot.
Yep. The Motorola Razor. And he's like, I found this like Macintosh thing. The front has like glass on it.
There's an apple, but it's
And-
partially eaten.
Yeah. And he's like,
What's
it's got
an
like a
iPood?
it's got like a password on it, so I can't get in. So he's like, I'll hold on to this just in case, because this might help me like figure out where I am. And so he takes it, and he also finds a backpack from what looks like a hunting trip, and he finds a fucking revolver in it, and he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna take that with me. Which, yeah, I would too in this instance. So
I have to stop you for 2 seconds because I forgot to say something super crucial
go
in
ahead.
my last video that actually has something to do with this.
go ahead.
the Ludi special.
So, if you're following along, which I really hope you are because we're an audio podcast, if you don't quite understand what we're referencing right now, which is fucking time paradoxes
Yes.
and
Please and thank
time
you, Doug.
travel. The last video that I talked about in our first episode, I want to read one small thing. I just have to find it.
Well, Doug is doing that. Hey, Mike, you see what that last little message says?
So
It has been a minute.
I don't know anymore.
there's
You make them up. So okay, go ahead, Doug. Sorry.
It has been a minute. I already know. TMZ has the scoop. You haven't done it in a while.
You do, yeah.
So upon review of the footage, Agent Peregrine immediately alerted the IRI Command response team to his station of emergency containment of the videotape. A review conducted by the IRI Command audiovisual specialist has determined that the video has to be a Monarch class temporal anomaly. And
Did you say Monarch class?
yes.
Okay, keep going. Sorry, that made one of my videos make a bit more sense.
An IRI Command has declared that this footage has to be viewed with extreme caution. While no major ill effects should result from viewing it, it is recommended that the targeted memory wipe treatment be followed after viewing the footage to reduce the likelihood of a casual loop being created in our timeline. Contingency plans to induce a timeline derailment scenario to prevent the events of the shown tape from occurring are currently in development at this time. So everything that you just said
Is wrong.
with all well, no, not even with all the backpacks that they found.
Yeah, that could
From-
be that loop.
Yes.
There's so much that we don't know. And
Everything
there's so
that we
much
thought we knew just goes.
Well, and just even from the videos we haven't talked about yet, it's just there's this crazy time
It's time dilation.
that we just don't know.
It gets even better too.
Oh,
Just wait.
So I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
No, you're okay
please-
because the
please
time
keep going.
dilation thing. Keep that. Put a pin in
Yes,
that. Put a pin in that.
yes.
So
Time dilation is a giant fucking trope in this one. So
Yep.
if you don't know what that means or those combination of words means, take a second, just look it up.
It's also very subtle.
It's
like they don't just
so
come
subtle.
outright and say
Yeah.
it. Like in Mike's videos we're getting right now, you're getting a very like small taste
Yeah.
of it, but it's not just outright said, "Hey, here's some
Exactly.
fucking weird time loop shit that's happening."
Yes. And exactly, you have to be somebody exactly like Mike to understand this kind of stuff. Otherwise, you just won't, right, Mike?
Yeah, you got to be Mike.
Why me?
It's your turn.
You got to be Daddy Cubed.
No, you're cube.
You
I'm
got to be
Orb.
Daddy Orbed.
There you go. Father Orb. Anyway, so yeah, it's around this point when he keeps going forward with going to the top of Mount Stanley when he comes across a riverbed and he just kind of follows this river for a little bit. As he's following this river, he notices that there are no signs of people, but he sees a gigantic creature towering over the trees in the distance. He
Is
also
it Siren Head?
It is not Siren Head, but how cool would that be? I love Siren Head. That's such a cool.
Kelly's nephews also love Siren
It's such a
Head.
cool design. It looks so cool.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I love it. But he also notices that he can see a bunch of trees like rustling around in the distance, kind of looking like there's like a pack of creatures in this tree line,
Oh.
making them rustle around. He mentions how like these things are pretty far away, and he's like, I hope not to come face to face with this giant creature thing, because that would fucking suck. So after walking around near this river for several days, several days, he notices that time seems to move differently where he is. His watch has stopped moving, and
It's like the potatoes all over again.
his watch has stopped ticking, and the handheld Macintosh, which it's a fucking iPhone. He found an iPhone. That thing's date has not moved either since I think it was April 29th on the iPhone, but has not moved. He also mentions how he has not been hungry for the past 2 days.
So time dilation.
Yes, and he says that the
Man,
days.
I wish I could do that.
I don't. I like
Dilate
food.
time or not eat.
Not eat.
But he also mentions how these days have.
Sorry, Mike. Keep going. Doug and I are on a whole other thing. Go ahead.
He also mentions how these days have just started to like blend together. How like the morning, by the time it's morning, he doesn't realize it until it's the end of the day, and the end of the day just looks like it's the morning of the next day. It's all just a blur to him at this point. He says that he hears something stalking him in the woods as he's going around the riverbed, and he kind of has like a little bit of like a fucking, I guess you could say like a breakdown or something, because he's just like, there's something stalking me in the woods by the river. I don't fucking care at this point. If this thing eats me and kills me, it fucking kills me. Like, he's flat out like, I am never gonna see my world again. I'm never gonna see my friends or my parents. If it kills me, it fucking kills me.
Yeah, at this point, the torture's over.
Yeah, and he's. I wouldn't even say the torture's over, because he's not happy to say that at all. It's like one of those things where it's like he's coming to terms with it. You know what I mean? It's like the fucking, what is it called? The 7 steps of acceptance or whatever.
Oh, like the stages of
grief.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like
grief.
he's coming around that, because he's like, if it kills me, it fucking kills me. I can't do anything. So it's at this point when he starts mentioning this that he sees, he spots a building at the corner of the river, a fucking building this far out, this high up on a mountaintop.
Yep.
He runs this building because he's like, oh fuck, buildings mean people. We took a pause.
I like that you took the second to make them like throw them off the trail and then go, we fucked up.
Yep. It's how I do things. Again, no nonsense. No nonsense, Michael. It's where I'm at.
That's where you're at today.
Yes, he finds this building on the corner of a river, and he's like, that don't belong. So he starts to just fucking clap cheeks over this fucking this building. And I don't blame him, because this entire fucking time, every time he records, you hear things in the background growling at him.
Can you imagine if that was our life?
That would
right
be
now?
miserable.
We wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
At all.
So, yeah, I don't blame him.
We'd be dead.
I don't blame him for fucking booking it towards this goddamn building.
Oh, yeah.
So he gets in this building, and it looks like an old office building on the inside that's been run down and abandoned for decades. And he's like, oh, I'm going to explore around and see if I find anything. And he finds these folders and papers that he discovers upon reading them, that it's about this place called the Vast, which is a temporal phenomenon.
Mike, will you explore my vast?
I can I will.
Can you dump into our vast?
I can, and I will. But it basically describes the exact situation that he is in right now. And just as he is looking into the Vast, he even notices that it has a government seal on it by the United States Department of Anomalies.
The USDA.
Mm-hmm. A different one, but yes.
Different USDA, but
yes.
USDA nonetheless. So,
it's at this point when he's reading through it, he hears one of those creatures break into the door and start growling. He's like, "Oh fuck, they found me." So he's like, "I'm gonna get some of these papers, get out the window, and I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna read more into this stuff." And as soon as he says that, you hear a growling even closer, and you hear him just screaming.
Eek.
And that is the end of Tommy Parsons' audio.
I feel like your audio / video portions are so out of place compared to.
It was very fun.
Yeah, they're very randomly just thrown in there because it's 6 videos.
Yeah,
just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, bruh.
I had a blast listening to this, though.
It was very fun. I will say.
It's a slow burn.
This is absolutely a slow burn, but oh my god, is it worth it?
The next video after this is after all these. Again, keep in mind, I paraphrased 6 videos and put them into one little story.
Yeah.
The next after the whole Tanya Parsons thing is something unrelated to Mr. Parsons. It is called the Unusual Ad Console PSA 6/3/1998.
Another recovered video footage.
Description.
Recovered footage.
That's all, folks.
Fuck you, Mike.
So if you look into the description, you find out that the tape's creator is a resident of Huntington, West Virginia. West Virginia has popped up a lot.
Do you know where that is the home place of?
Tootsie Rolls?
Yes. No. Do you guys not listen to My Brother and Me?
No.
That's where they live.
Neat.
So for anyone out there that listens to popular podcasts, trivia time.
There it is. The origin of the film that we're going to watch here in a minute here is June 3rd, 1998. The location is a residence of Jason hit the thing. The redacted. Residence of Redacted in Huntington, West Virginia. The recovery date, they found this tape. We don't need any more. You okay? They found this tape on July 17th of 2004 at a Goodwill donation center in Huntington, West Virginia. In the description, it even tells you a little bit more about it. And I'm going to read off the description because it is somewhat short, and I enjoy it. I think it's fun.
Fucking go
So,
for it, dude.
While recording an episode of Hollywood Tonight on the evening of June 3rd, 1998, a resident of Huntington, West Virginia, recorded an ad console PSA that people who claimed to have seen it said was, quote, extremely distressing and disturbing, unquote. Unusually so far, unusual for the ad console. Sorry.
Take a pause. Go ahead.
Unusual for the ad console. The above PSA warns of an unidentified parasitic organism that is given the language used by the PSA. So they are even calling it an unidentified parasitic organism.
A UPO.
A UPO.
An UPO.
An UPO.
UPO!
Which, in this video, it shows that this organism is very commonplace and is guaranteed to be fatal should the organism activate in the human body. The video's narration states that viewers should, quote, spend time with their loved ones as much as possible.
This
unquote.
is so similar to The Sun Vanished. This specific part, oh my god.
A little, yeah, I can get that now. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I take solace in relating one analog horror to another, so please, creators, do not feel discouraged if I compare. And I'm just trying to keep track. That's all that's
we
happening.
just enjoy a lot of work.
We do.
Let's see here. So it tells you to spend as much time with your loved ones as possible before this organism metamorphosizes. But at no point does the video elaborate on what this organism is, what its infection vectors are, or how long it takes for this supposed metamorphosis to occur in humans.
I am so happy that you said
Vectors?
yes.
Well, it was written out for me. I didn't put that in there.
Oh,
I'm
well.
not a big smart boy.
I was so happy for a second.
So after
And
the
now I'm so sad.
I do that a lot to people. I just give you that endorphin, serotonin, and then just drop it.
Dangle it in front of our
Yeah,
face and
yeah.
say nope.
So after the conclusion of the PSA, many viewers called the ad console demanding answers regarding what the PSA was referencing and that the PSA be pulled from the air, citing that the PSA, quote, induced mass panic, unquote, in the Huntington area. This like mass panic could cause disruptions to the daily lives of residents, and they just weren't fucking having it. The ad console denied any knowledge of having created this particular PSA and publicly dismissed it as a malicious hoax. However, it is interesting to note that the PSA has not aired at any point since the evening of June 3rd, 1998, and has fell out of the public memory in the years since. Upon further investigation, no additional information on the parasitic organism shown in the PSA was discovered.
UPO.
The UPO. And no public record of the Center for Special Ailments, which was found in the PSA, does not exist. It is suspected that the CSA is linked to the United States Department of Anomalies, but this connection remains tentative at this time. The CSA, I believe, was another like a Department of Anomalies for the United States. It was another department for things like this.
Similar checks and balances.
Yes. But basically, with that in mind, what this video looks like is it's kind of like this like black and white. It's like old looking, like it's like I want to say cowboys, but it's like that kind of picture of like a dude sitting on like his patio in a wooden chair with like the cowboy top hat on and like.
Is it like that picture that I've seen where it says like it shows a cowboy on a horse and it says cowboy, and underneath there's just cowboys cropped out and it just says cow. Similar
it
to
could
that.
be, sure.
Okay.
But it shows like on these like people, it shows like images like that and like various other people in the PSA, but it shows like what looks like this like infection going up their like arms and like over their faces. And it's basically telling you, like, yep, this thing's coming for you. It's gonna kill you, and you're all gonna die. So say goodbye.
Nothing you can do.
Yep, basically say bye to your loved ones and enjoy the time you have with them. The weirdest part is that this PSA is supposed to be from 1998.
Mhm.
It was uploaded in 2020.
So somebody
Does the word COVID-19 ring a bell?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a reference to that, obviously.
Yeah.
This whole thing
me a second,
was
but yeah.
written and given to the Minerva Alliance by a member named Albatross. I also didn't mention, but in the...
Actually, let's go over this right now.
Wait, one last thing.
I don't think we've touched on the names.
Yes, but one last thing, because I only mentioned this one name.
Boo.
The man who wrote and gave the documentation to the Minerva Alliance for Tommy Parsons' audio was Greathorn, who we have seen his name come up from time to time in the past.
I said that a couple times.
Yeah, good fucking call, man.
Yep.
yeah.
But yeah, so now we have Greathorn and Albatross giving information to the Minerva Alliance and basically writing out these documents for these anomalies. One being, audio cassette tapes found of a lost hiker in these weird spatial time warpy woods, and this other one about a PSA about an infectious disease that apparently doesn't exist.
Your whole part reminds me of the entirety of the movie Color Out of Space with Nicolas Cage.
Still have yet to see it.
You fuck,
It's so
dude,
fucking good.
Out of all the people in this room, I know I see Doug and I who are Lovecraft fucking. I would like to say aficionados.
Out of everyone in this
but
room, I'm the only one that hasn't seen it.
You need to. If you like Nick Cage going batshit
Oh, I know.
insane.
Oh, I know.
Dude, it's fucking top tier.
He does
Nick
a
Cage
classic
batshit.
whitey tighty scene in that shit.
Oh yeah, I do like a classic white.
Oh, yeah.
scene.
He spits tomatoes all over himself at some point. It's all just so fucking good.
Well, I will say on that note,
Are you done with your videos?
I am done with my portion of the video.
Cool. So you ended on video 14, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's go right ahead and dump the fuck into video 15, which is called, as the rest are, recovered footage, Quaking and Shaken, Earthquake Safety Reel.
Quaking and
Can you guys guess what might be in this little piece of media?
Tumbleweeds.
Actually, no, there's none.
Dang.
You were close, though. No, it's
Fumbled.
the
Wumbled tweeds.
Wumble tweeds. Yep, there's fucking hundreds of them. Now this is legitimately an earthquake safety tip video. It follows the same format that was given before, where they give you information. They basically make you suppose a bunch of facts, and then they fuck it up a bit. So let's dump into it. So in the earthquake video,
Just shorthanded.
so I know we've said this before. All of the descriptions have a bunch of content that's a part of it. I'll read this one out. I don't know if I'm going to I'll paraphrase the rest, but this one is more or less about it's basically it's educational material on earthquakes and how to stay safe during one. It references several things. You get the very, very basic stuff like, if you
Hide under a table.
Exactly. They show you how to hide under a table.
Push the table.
Grab the leg in case you have to move with it. Exactly. Mike, you're hitting all the points.
I've grown
so
up
proud
with
of you.
earthquake safety. I lived in Aurora,
Oh, then
I currently live there.
so you know earthquake safety.
Jesus.
No.
Well, I'm here to tell you. So the video goes over like what you can do to avoid being injured during an earthquake, and it says hide by a wall if you have nothing to shelter under. If you do, shelter under something that can move, so you can move if you need to. And then you see a picture of like this 200 footed creature real fast that just flashes on screen. And it says, remain silent. No matter what you hear or see, they will know where you are if you don't.
One of my favorite things is like right before that, it's like things that might cause earthquakes.
Yes, and it goes
and
over
it's
like
like
avalanches.
Platonic, so platonic
Yeah.
changes, and then real quick, it's just like rumors.
It says I had to pause it. It says burrower worms, and then it flashes and glitches off screen, and then yes, it goes over what you can do to avoid it and stuff
love it.
like that. But yes, it says burrower worms, and it looks like a fucking graboid. Let's be fucking honest.
Oh wait, no, it does say burrowworms is subterranean creatures.
Oh,
Yes.
that's the next one. I'm sorry. Yes, the next one is the one that
Yeah.
references the burrower worms. Yes, this says subterranean creatures, and it goes over their what they hunt, what they eat, where they live, etc., etc. And you very quickly understand that the place that they eat is the place that you are looking at on screen.
Yeah, what is it called? It's like windy
I got
sand.
you. Windy
Sand, California.
No, it is. It's Windy Sands, California.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. Nice, man.
I loved this video.
It's so good.
And I will say I know a lot of it because I thought I was covering it. That's
ya?
why I'm like chiming in a little bit because I loved this one.
It was so good.
It was Tremors. It's
Thank
Tremors.
you.
And I
It's
was like,
just
I fucking love
graboids.
this.
Kevin Bacon was probably a part of it. I don't know, man. It was good. So you basically the entirety of this video, you see like a desert scape, very plain. The only time you see movement is at the very end after
so
they
cool.
describe the burrow worms. It shows an outhouse in the middle of fucking nowhere. And then you see an explosion of dirt and like the very semblance of a worm, and it cuts and it goes the.
I love it because
away.
it's like it's like don't speak. 'Cause they may hear you or something like that, and then it shows like the worm
It
come
literally
up. It's so
says,
fun.
Remain silent.
Yeah.
No matter what you hear or see, they will know where you are.
Yeah,
if
and then
you don't.
yeah, and it shows the worm come up and everything. It's so fun. I love
yeah.
it.
It's graboids. It's fucking Tremors. It's also Dune. Like there's yes. It's so good. After this, it instructs everyone to remain calm. It's normal to feel fear and anxiety with burrow worms around.
Yeah, 100%.
Silence is the best defense. And then it shows a very brief clip of nothing, and then an explosion of sand and an outhouse getting fucking disappeared, and then nothing. And that's the end of this video. So by the way, this in case you were wondering where we are, the video that I just talked about was called Recovered Footage, Quaking and Shaken, and Earthquake Safety Reel. It's video 15 in the videos list. Take a look. It's very fun.
Who wrote it?
Who wrote it? I'm not doing that
Your
yet.
mother. Jardine!
I'm
Jardine's autobiography of Windy Sands, California.
so I actually
I
am
should stop
saving my
doxing my
authorhood.
mother.
You know what? Fuck it. At this point, we should just say who it was. Yeah.
If you want.
Have you guys mentioned Agent Sparrow yet?
Agent Wiener Balls.
Cool. So this one is by a brand new person by the name of Agent Wienerballs. No, it's by an Agent Sparrow, who we kind of assume to be a part of this whole whatever organization this is a part of.
Do we all need to drink some coffee? do you guys need some coffee?
Agent Wiener Balls reporting for duty.
Yes, sir.
But that's really about it for the Quake and Shake
What's the next
Earthquake
one?
Safety Reel. The next one we go into is all about it's an event that happens in this town. Okay, so right now we're covering the town of Comstock, and we are covering the Comstock Community Choice of 1997.
Woohoo!
There's a bunch of information in the beginning, so I'm actually going to read this whole description out because it's the only thing that gives you information in this video. So the description of this video says, rumors of a prosperous yet isolated town in southern Tennessee have been floating around for decades. Although travelers in the area the town was said to exist do not recall driving through or otherwise seeing a town fitting this description. However, those that were driving through the same region around mid-December have recalled seeing, quote, strange greenish yellow lights in the sky for 2 minutes before the lights vanished, but all are seemingly unable to recall any specific events that took place during that 2-minute time interval. All leads followed by Minerva personnel to investigate the cause of these lights have gone cold over the years, until a resident of Redacted contacted Minerva personnel and informed them that she was a former resident of the long-rumored town and had some information she wanted to share in person. And the rest of this description kind of goes over a bit of her information, but more or less it's a redacted conversation.
Yeah.
Because, hey, we're going back to Redacted.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So basically, it sounds like anyone going around the area where this town is supposed to be is like, yeah, no, there's nothing there.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
And
is
then
more or less.
randomly one person was like, yeah, I'm from that place. What's up?
And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Redacted.
Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Pretty much. So that is the description of this very, very strange video. The content itself is actually, it's less weird than what you might have heard Mike and Doug talk about. The one thing you do get that I very much enjoyed doing and would have loved to do on air until it was wholeheartedly ruined for me about 4.5 seconds ago, was a phone number that came up. So again, this is the 1997 Comstock Community Choice. Okay. And apparently this is a very big deal in this town. There's a number you can call to help them vote, to kind of, show your voice.
Yeah.
Make sure you're heard.
They're like, oh, we're going to do all this voting and like we're going to vote for something that's going to benefit the community today.
Yes.
You
and
can
it's all
call
American
in to
Idol
vote.
shit.
Yes. It's all through TV. So we're assuming it's all localized voting.
Yep. Because they're like, it's going to be displayed live in the community. You can call in to vote.
And yeah, they give you a phone number, which honestly, here, I'll give it to you. It's 931-421-7790. Call it if you like. Mike already did.
It doesn't do anything. It's a dead number.
I was so hoping
Me
that
too.
we could call it and have a cool conversation, but I'm hiccuping.
He's hiccuping.
The rest of this video is it's the votes. So you call this number and you're supposed to basically vote for the option you enjoy the most. And most of these issues are very normal, like, who do you want the honorary so-and-so to be?
And it's like, who won Miss Beauty Queen?
Yeah, it's a lot of those.
I will say there is a common
There's
name.
honor receiver and honor giver.
But there's a name that kept coming up. Did you notice that?
Yes, the last name.
Yes, Dover.
Yes.
I think it's Dover.
Dover.
There's
Dover
actually
was
a couple different ones.
There's a
that
couple
are-
different-
There are a few,
yes.
but Dover's
That
the one
name-
that stuck out to me
Yeah.
a lot.
That name kept coming up reoccurringly
Yes.
in this episode.
Y'all know the Dover Demon?
I feel like we're about to.
I'm not going to go into it. That's for a cryptid episode.
Okay, well,
Patreon.com/fullypod
you heard-
Cryptid
yeah.
Corner.
yeah, you
The
go to
Dover
our
Demon.
go to our Patreon, listen to our fucking cryptid shit, and you'll hear some more. So once again, we are talking about this voting system, right? There's a bunch of questions that are about to be asked of the citizens of this town. They're asked to call a number and use that phone number as well as the keypad to vote. Everything, I'm not going to cover the first 5 selections because it's all very, very, very boilerplate, very normal. And then we get to a question that asks, what weapon should be used to sacrifice the receiver of honor? Now, at this point, we've gotten a question that says, who should be the receiver of honor?
Yeah, and everyone
Who
voted.
should be the giver of honor? And 70 to 80 people voted, right?
I'm the giver, Mike's the
Here-
receiver.
so here's
Did you notice this too?
100%.
Did you
Yeah.
notice this?
keep track of how many people vote.
Yes,
throughout
Yeah,
this.
thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes, this goes off the fucking rails all by itself. So at first we start off with 50.
69.
69 was what it was?
Mhm.
Okay. So we're at 69 for the question I just asked, which is
420.
cool. Perfect.
Smash.
Nice. So we get to the weird questions, and the very first one is, what weapon should be used to sacrifice the
Flail.
receiver of honor? and it comes up with 4
Should've
different
been
choices.
flail.
There's like a sword, I think
Blunderbuss.
there's a flail, but
Cat O'
it's
Nine
essentially
Flail, sword, dagger, and something
No, it's
else.
like dagger,
else.
spear, sword.
spear. That's the other one. Yes,
Yeah.
but overwhelmingly, the populace votes to sacrifice the receiver of honor
Sword.
by dagger.
Oh,
by
sword.
penis.
No, it's
Oh,
it's 100% by dagger. I promise.
It is by dagger.
You can
Was
go
it?
ahead and rewatch it.
I
watched
prefer the sword. While you guys were practicing the dagger, I was mastering the blade.
Hey, Mike, if you were to ritually sacrifice someone, what item would you might use? Is it a ritual dagger? Is it a claymore? Like what might you use?
Blunderbuss. An old school pirate shotgun,
Alright.
please. Thank you.
Country of Deludistan. Well, maybe we don't know because there's still not fucking flags in our chat. There are a couple, and they all look pretty great. What would you say this is?
Dagger.
Is that what you'd say? Is that what we're saying?
I guess that would make the most sense in this situation. Yeah.
It's a sacrificial dagger. Yeah, it's a ritual. So they choose dagger. They then go on. I know. They then go on to basically, it's a bunch of more weird ass questions. Let's just get down to brass tacks. The very last scene you see in this is a fucking clusterfuck of answers that you could possibly give. All of them are terrible. This actually is very reminiscent of the video Doug was talking about earlier, where the clown face was spitting out answer after answer after answer. It kind of goes into overtime, and it spits a bunch of shit out that no one fucking understands.
And in the background of all this, like there's like just a fire going,
Yeah, there's a fire going,
and there's like
one of
this,
the questions
this like upbeat music that immediately goes like deadpan,
kind of it literally just
somber.
stops.
It's like it's
It's like
somber.
it's like a fucking background thing. But
Yeah, and
a
the
couple-
fire's changing colors.
A couple of the questions we get are like, what organs should be removed from the honor receiver?
Didn't expect
expect lungs.
The lungs.
Did not expect
I
lungs.
saw
thought it was
heart.
gonna be
I
heart.
know. I thought it was gonna be hurt
and
too. I
thought
was like, I want heart.
Kali Ma.
Kalima. Yeah, that's what I thought. But no,
Kalima.
apparently the
Yeah.
lungs are the things to be removed. Another one is what personal item should be what did they say? Should be placed upon the altar or
Yeah.
some shit like that. Turns out a wedding band.
I guess is Rolex, but I was wrong.
I was hoping, but no. I'm not going to go over the rest of the questions. I will say,
Here's another thing though, how we mentioned the votes before. They just start like getting bigger
I'm
and
getting to
bigger
that.
and bigger.
I'm getting to that. I will not go over the rest of these questions because they get progressively fucking weird. I will say a very strong trope in this video is the name Elazareth. That name comes up a bunch, and it asks you, are you prepared to give your life and every purpose that belongs to you to this Elazareth?
Which I do think is a reference to like Azathoth.
I absolutely do too.
Especially because in mine he mentions being in a Lovecraftian
Let's
world.
we have some shit to talk about, buddy. And you're right. So it asks, will you serve Elazareth? And then it shows a video of snowy trees and the sun blows up for a second. And that's the end of the video.
The sun vanished.
The sun did vanish. God, they're hitting all of these fucking...
The sun got blown.
Yeah.
The next one we go to is a video called... This is the last of the videos. This is the very last video in the entire series.
Boyd.
Yes, this is recovered footage. Boyd's pest control employee training video.
Also, I want to touch on one last thing
Go for
before
it,
you
dude.
keep going.
Yeah.
I don't recall some of Doug's videos off the top of my head right now, but I'm gonna look back now because part of me thinks when they chose an organ to sacrifice as the lungs,
Yep.
I
Yep.
think the lungs were mentioned in one of Doug's videos. I just got to check back at it
I'm pretty sure they were. I'm almost positive.
So-
This just like most analog
because
horrors.
in some of his it says like how often can or how long can someone like hold their
Hold
breath?
their breath.
How long can you go without
Yes.
air? So
Yep.
the lungs, I think, is something that has to do with this.
I
as
think
well.
so too, and I think that specific organ in the human body is a target for extraction for some reason in this story.
Mhm.
Couldn't fucking tell you what at this point though.
Yeah.
So we've gone over that. Okay, so we are on to Boyd's Pest Control. So this one's fun. It's very out of the norm. It's not quite like the videos I've talked about so far.
It's very Gemini.
This honestly,
I loved it.
you could have ripped this directly
fun.
from Gemini. The first thing I want to talk about is the additional information that you get in the description, just because this actually sets up the video very nicely. This is what it says. Boyd's Pest Control was a fairly small pest extermination chain that primarily operated out of the Midwestern United States from the early 1980s through the early 2000s, with the chain ultimately going out of business due to poor financial management during the last few years of the chain's operation. During the time of its operation, the company offered pest removal services for a wide range of common household pests, such as termites, rats, and ants, to name a few. Those who contracted Boyd's for pest removal often regarded them as the, quote, best in the business and had exceptional customer retention during the nearly 2 decades of their operation.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Just to give you a background on this, you guys might be learning about a new animal in
I love
this
it.
video.
It seems
Couple
super
new.
cute. Yeah, a couple new ones.
Couple new ones.
He seems so cute.
Let's start with the first one. The first one is so it's going to go over a bunch of very normal
It's like,
pests.
here's some ants.
Here's some ants.
Here's how you
Here's
get
some
rid of them.
termites. Here's some mice.
Yeah, it's like, here's what they do. Here's how you get rid of them.
Yep.
Here's mice.
And
This is what they
here
do.
are some shadowmanders.
I love the shadowmander.
What?
He's
The
so
fuck?
cute.
I mean, they are. They are. Okay, so let's go over some facts about the shadowmanders. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing is they are invisible unless enough shadows are present around them specifically, which means if you are looking at a well-lit room, there could be shadowmanders there. You just can't see
You'll
them.
never know.
You'll never know.
It's because they put chemicals in the drinking water, so we can't see a specific.
It's the fluoride.
They turned the freaking frogs gay.
It's like from Invincible when he's like, "Oh yeah, the fluoride
Oh,
puts a
yeah.
chemical in the water, so you can't see certain light."
Yeah,
and it's this whole.
that's actually. I think we just found
That's
some
what
inspiration.
these
Holy shit,
shadowmanders
yeah.
are doing.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if
The
I
lights
said
turn
that
the
or if
shadowmanders
Moot said
gay.
it first, but god damn it. I just saw him post it and I was like, did I say it or did he say it first?
We'll never know. Well, somebody will know. So the shadowmanders, they're not a threat. They just kind of hang out. They look at what you're doing. They hide out in the very edge of the shadow. Otherwise, you can't see them.
And it shows a little like mini
Little-
video of that
yeah,
where it's
of
like,
like-
the lights are on, the lights are off. You see a little gecko on the wall.
Just like a little
Lights
You
are
see,
on,
like,
it's
the
gone.
top of his
Yeah,
head.
the lights
like,
are go
just like,
on. The
yeah.
lights are on, nothing. Lights off. It moved a little bit screwed. It's a little
Yeah.
gecko on the wall. It's super cute. I loved it. It was super neat.
Yeah, and guys, pick up a shadowmander today. Go to your local PetSmart. Just make sure they're taken care of.
Yeah,
because they're
keep-
fucking
Yeah,
adorable.
keep them in a dark room.
And then we go over another. Okay, so there's several things that go over.
Before you leave, shadowmanders, they mention you can see them if you put a black light on them.
Oh yes, thank you. They do show up iridescent under black light. So if you're looking for them,
You can
black
find
light's the way to go.
Yep.
But let's move on to the next entity that I'd like to talk about. There's only 2 from this video that I want to talk about because the rest are meh. So shadowmanders. The other one is something called ectomold.
Yeah.
This one is fantastic.
There was something in
I
between
love
that.
this.
There's something in between that I
Yes.
thought was fake.
Okay.
I think it's
go ahead.
real though. I don't know off the top of my head. Talk about the ectomode. I'll find it.
Okay, no, that's fine. I was going to touch on these 2, and that's about it.
Yeah,
If you
no,
want to
do
bring
that,
up the
do
other
that.
one, please.
Do that.
So ectomold is something that exists in the corners of your basement in very damp areas. It's very similar to black mold. It shares a lot of properties with it. However, the one thing that black mold does not do, but ectomold does, is it brings things such as demonic possession and paranormal infestation into your household. And this is how you get ghosts.
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
This is exactly how you do it. It
This
shows
is how you get ghosts.
And Zach Bagans is ectomold. The video is creepy too.
it's like this pulsating little like piece of like it looks like like gel or flubber with like black dots on it, and it's just like pulsing, and it disappears, and you see like this skeletal lady's image for a second, and then it goes back to being mold. It talks about like how to kill it. One of the things you do to get rid of it is to pour gas around the very base of the ectomold. Make sure the flames lick high enough to get the entire fucking conglomeration of it. But either way, burn it the fuck alive. After you do that, though, there are two very important steps to follow. The first thing you do after burning it alive is call your supervisor. Call your supervisor and let them know what has happened here. The last thing you do before you leave the scene is to ensure all the bodies involved are charred beyond recognition.
And then you get the fuck out.
Yes, but that's how you deal with these weird entities known as ectomold and shadowmanders.
There was one called the Disposal Mall.
Oh, yeah, go
I
ahead.
didn't know if that was real or not, because the picture looked pretty goddamn
They did a
authentic.
very good job
And
of
I'm like,
tricking us.
yeah, and I'm
Yes.
like, is
Yeah,
that just a bacteria? Because it looks like a bacteria, but it's like something that like just hides like inside pipes and garbage disposals, and it's like symptoms of infestation, sink flooding, clogged pipes, abnormal sounds when the disposal's turned on, and it's like, I don't think that's real, but like part of me is like, is that an actual? Because they throw in like real creatures every now with all this, and they'll just be like, here's some ants and how to get rid of them, mice how to get rid of them, crickets how to get rid of them, ectomold, and it's like whoa.
Yeah. No, it's they go over some very, very, very normal things and then some very not normal things, and that's again analog horror. But if you guys were wondering how to deal with ectomold and shadowmanders,
Burn it.
we got you on fire. But yeah, that's
Penis.
okay, thank you so much. That's the rest of these, well, at least the interesting entities that are found in this very last video of the Minerva Alliance. There is another kind of ancillary place where you can grab information. They do have a Twitter, and it's just the Minerva Alliance, and it's fan-fucking-tastic.
Penis.
Thank you so much. Okay, so after this fucking story that we've taken you through, we are going to turn our attention to the Twitter. Twitter, if any of you have listened to a little podcast known as Welcome to Night Vale,
No.
or really,
I have,
never?
yeah, I haven't. No.
Have you really never?
Mm-mm.
I booked the
that's-
red.
Okay,
Read a book.
you read the book of gotcha, so almost the same thing. It's essentially like a bulletin for just weird fucking events. And actually, I'm gonna fucking switch it up on you guys. So the first one we look at that I'd like to share reads: reports of fall streak holes suddenly forming above Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, have been made in the past hour. No action is currently necessary. However, we will monitor the situation and provide an update if the situation worsens. Dash. Bully Day? Bullied?
Waleed?
Yeah.
Like the country?
The guy that's been talking to us.
I'm thinking of Belize. Sorry.
You are thinking of Belize.
Belied?
It's not that. Another great little excerpt from the Twitter is a little update about a college. It says, update, Cypress Valley College officials have announced that the entirety of the campus chapter of Tau Omicron Xi sorority seemingly vanished from campus on the night of 11/4/2019. Immediate investigation by Minerva personnel is underway.
Oh, flip.
Dash Great Horn. Just fucking bring it all full
Look at that.
full circle.
circle.
The last one is, again, guys, if you can find this fucking text-based adventure, please send it our way because I want to play it. They hinted this little like text adventure saying, if you encounter a text-based adventure with this opening screen, it is advised that you do not play it under any circumstances. Reports show that this game adapts to the person playing and can present scenarios that mentally affect players severely. Signed, Great Horn. I want to play.
Text-based adventure.
Yeah, it's like honestly, like Oregon Trail,
Yeah.
the original Oregon Trail, or all those fucking text RPGs. Like
Fun.
it's just like all of that. But this is just a little bit of what you're gonna find here. It's a lot of like anomalous events. Little, just think SCP and like the times that we've covered the exploration logs. That's the conglomeration of these videos. So if you enjoy that shit, fucking go check this shit out.
That doobie sounded fun.
It's so good.
It really is. I
It's
mean,
so fucking good.
everything about this whole series has been just a fucking wild ride.
It's been such a pleasure.
Do we know who the creator is?
Yes, you did want me to go over that a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, his name is P. Finkel Dorkeldink.
I don't think that's correct.
Surprise, surprise. If you look in the
This is Mike talking.
if you look in the description of every YouTube video that they put up, you will see a I guess you could say person named Corks and Wreck put in there.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Weird.
Pretty damn sure they're the fucking creator. Reason I say that is because I fucking Googled it, and we'll see how that goes. But Corks and Wreck did pop up. They have another YouTube channel. There's no videos attached to it, but if you look in the recommended channels part of YouTube, when you go onto their channel, the Minerva Alliance does pop up.
Okay, then yeah, that makes
There
sense.
is also a podcast out there as
called
well
Don't
that you
Look
can
on the
look
Internet
up.
that you can go and listen
Yes.
to and find out all about this.
I don't think they're connected, but it is called Corks and Recreation. I can't tell if they're connected or not because this podcast
It
is from.
sounds fucking connected.
My only thing is it's from 2016.
What was the other one from?
The Minerva Alliance is from like 3
What?
years ago. 2019 is when it started. So it could be connected. It very well could be.
So what you're saying is we're following somebody who has already walked our path and
Maybe.
gave up.
Maybe, I don't know, but the podcast is about things on the internet, kind of like what we cover.
Yeah.
It is about a man named I think it was Doug, who is in his 30s, and I think it was his nephew Brandon, who's like 11, and they just go over weird shit on the internet.
Hey Doug, when can we get your nephew Brandon on the shoulder? on the
shoulder.
Find his dead body
Great. I
and get back to me.
don't like that. But yeah, I'm pretty damn sure that this Corks and Recreation person
creator,
is
right?
the creator. That makes the most
I'd agree.
sense to me. I couldn't find them on like Twitter or anything like that. So as far as I know, the Minerva Alliance is the only like updated thing that they are continuously
Oh, okay.
uploading from.
So it's not like a this is my legacy type thing. This is look.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not like with like 2H32 you have
Yeah.
Commander P's Twitter as well,
Right.
or like with CHSS you have Turkey Lennon's Twitter as well.
So this actually falls back into the trope of analog horror where
It's a mystery. Yeah, it's a mystery. Like I can't find.
I forgot that we've done so many things.
It's
that
kind
are
of like this. This
concise.
room does
Yeah.
not exist where there's no
Oh,
one.
yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
one author or something. It's like this other company, which might be this Corks and Recreation. It might be a group of people. It might be one guy. I don't know. But I think this Corks and Rec is the person that made it. And if that's true, Corks and Rec, if you're listening, hit us up.
Seriously,
I would like to poke your brain a bit.
We had fucking such a good time
Yeah,
with this.
Minerva Alliance is very fucking
It was
fun.
so much fun. It was so much fun to watch through.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if
but
you haven't,
that's
I
part 2, and that's the end of the Minerva Alliance.
That is, and guys, we cannot describe how happy this fucking series made us. Like
Yes.
we all, before we even started recording, had talked about how much we enjoyed this. Like
We're physically too drunk to explain how much we like.
Here's the thing. I would like to go out and apologize to 2 people.
What's up?
One, the editor of this episode for having to
Yeah,
go
whoever
through
that might be.
go through this bullshit.
Supposedly, it's gonna be Jason.
It's
Yes.
me.
And 2, the viewer or listener, because now you're in this.
Well, to be
gonna-
fair,
they're
they're
gonna-
gonna hear a much better version.
You say
Except
better.
than what we did here
except for the
today.
people- except for the people that are paying us, the people who don't pay us anything at all are going to get the most polished, like most
That it
gorgeous
can
version
be.
ever. And the people that are paying
There's
us.
4 people that have stuck with us through these trying times of the past hour.
I would
And
also
they still advocate that the $10 Patreon is the way to go.
I would speaking of, I would also like to say linktree.com/deludipod. You can find links to everything, all of our socials, our Patreon, YouTube, our merch, everything is in linktree.com/deludipod. You can find us on Patreon, patreon.com/deludipod. You can find us on buymeacoffee.com/deludipod. But let's be real, you're going to be buying us booze because we like that apparently. You can find us at our Google number. You can send us a text, we'll answer. You can leave us a voicemail, and we will. What?
A text lancer?
I just said send us a text and we'll answer.
Oh,
I like text Lancer better.
Text Lancer. Send us a text and we'll answer.
Sounds like some sort of big robot.
It is.
It's the Iron Giant.
Yes. You can leave us a voicemail and we will play that voicemail on the episode.
I got it. I have it on my computer.
Maybe.
Play that voicemail on the episode.
It's possible that
audio
we'll do that. We might.
The Google phone number is 630-909-9366. You gotta let me get one out at least. How are they gonna send us a voicemail? One. 630-909-9366. I'll give him the one for this one.
You know what?
He's gonna do some
Doug,
smart shit and trick us.
That's it.
No, like he earned it last episode. Let's give it to him.
630-909-9366.
now.
630-909-9366.
That was the third time. He's doing it right now.
Just keep saying,
I already
Mike,
did
cherish it. You just better keep
I
saying
love
it.
you all. Say hi to your mom for me.
he just slipped it right into us.
Have a lovely
There's nothing
day.
I could do about it because of the last. Okay, the last time that was creative as fuck, and you know it.
And then the one
Jason?
before that, even.
Do you have anything to say to the people, the beautiful people, Badudu?
Nope. Bye.
No. No, I have one thing to say. As always, everybody, please stay paranoid, but also go fucking check this channel out. You don't need to be paranoid about it because all you're doing is watching other people that should be paranoid. That's all you're doing.
Dumbless?
Go give them some love.
I think I may have mentioned this to the Patreons, but just in lieu of everyone knowing it, on Mike's birthday, which I won't dox him with on the actual episode, in the next couple days, no, in the next couple of weeks is the better way to put it.
There you go.
One night, just randomly, your choice. You don't know what night,
On a Wednesday.
but it'll be random. Leave out some biscuits and some milk. And if
make sure it's spoiled.
you gotta leave one whole biscuit in the milk though. Like there's like a plate of biscuits,
Let's say
and then there's
this.
like a big glass of milk, but one biscuit specifically is in the milk. If you don't, Mike won't kiss your dad.
One day in the July 20s, leave out a KFC biscuit. Otherwise, I won't kiss your
It
dad.
has to be a KFC
It's
biscuit.
somewhere in the July
2%
20s.
milk.
Yes.
2%.
2% milk.
One
None
day
of that
we will
skim milk.
unlock the other
I do
98%.
I do die on the hill. 2% milk is best. Anything else
Yeah.
is just fucking straight up bullshit.
Oh, I thought that was just standard.
No, Lori bought 0% and I fucking hit her with the fucking bottle.
Just fucking uppercutted with a fucking 0%er.
I did not do that. Don't worry. But
We figured, but
I did like put it with my fucking Cocoa Puffs. I'm like, this tastes wrong. What kind of milk is this? She's like, oh, I think it's the 2%. I'm like, nah, this is 0. I can tell. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like,
Did you take the bottle and dump it in front of her? Were you like,
no, here's the thing.
You have to take the bottle. You have to put it underneath a bridge, like a crossway, like a railroad crossway of
No,
a
no, no.
bridge.
like the bridge?
Like the bridge. Here's the thing. I ate the cereal with the milk.
You're a disgusting
And then
human
drank the
being.
milk because my wife is incredible and I love her. And whatever she does
Oh,
for
we love
me,
her too.
I accept it.
My wife.
So
That's fine, but you, on the other hand, need to be taken care of. Hey, Discord.
she takes care of me. Goodbye, everybody. Love you all
We
equally,
love you.
except one of you more. Fight for my love.
Hey, so relatively new subscriber, and really learning to dig through the information and having a lot of fun with that. So the other day I was cheating on you with another podcast. Sorry about that. I'll make it up to you later. And they were talking about an alternate perspective on UFOs. You were talking the other day about, cattle mutilation and blood being drained and all that. And there's a theory that says maybe what we see as far as UFOs and whatnot are actually atmospheric entities, and we're only catching a glimpse of what's actually there, and that it's possible that these things with cattle and whatnot might actually be the way that they feed. So, I mean, that might not be a rabbit hole, but it could be a puddle to splash around in. And the source that they cited was Airborne Anomalies, which is Rethinking Atmospheric Life Forms by Micah Hanks. So anyway, it was just a thought. I'm really learning a lot with you guys, so keep it up, and I'll keep hanging on. Bye.